We have 60 odd banks. 10 are technically illiquid. Those are the 10 banks that we have all seen referred to in the newspapers, and banks that are having difficulty in paying their customers, their depositors. Now, outside of that, there are probably again another 10 or 12 banks that are very good, I'd suggest, that are servicing their customers quite well, no issues whatsoever there. And you'll find that their third quarter, September 30th results are very, very good as well. And there's that middle group of maybe 40 banks, 35, 40 banks, which may not be as compliant as you would want, but are still functioning quite well. So they have no liquidity issues or as such. Now, the challenges with NPLs stem from both a governance enforcement issue, but also from the fact that a lot of the regulations have been designed over the last 6 or 7 years to literally support NPLs or non-payment of customer dues. For example, if you compare where we are today, the Bangladesh banking sector, to international banking standards vis-a-vis loan provisioning, you'll find significant changes. Now, the good thing is that a lot of that has already changed. So what I'd like to actually start off by saying is that, yes, there are very significant challenges. I think August 5th onwards, it looked like a complete disaster and nobody knew what would happen, and there was a definite possibility of a meltdown. And I'd like to highlight the fact that in the intervening, 3-4 months, a lot has happened, which is very, very positive in the sense that I think for a start, the bleeding has stopped in the banking sector. A number of important policy initiatives have been taken. Regulations have been liberalized. For example, caps on lending rates, customer lending rates and customer deposit rates have all been withdrawn. So it's a market-based interest rate environment. We have not yet moved to a completely market-determined exchange rate regime, but we're not far away from there either. And as a result, inward remittances from our Bangladeshi diaspora have already grown 30-40% in the last 4 months. So that is a big positive outcome. Also, in terms of the overall macroeconomic situation, the environment is much more conducive. The financial accounts, the current account, balance of payments, you heard our previous panelists talking about it too. They're all much, much improved from where they were 4 months ago. A small group of banks were advantaged. A large groups of banks were disadvantaged. So you did not have a regulatory level playing field. We now have that with the new central bank. And as a result of which, we see clearly a tidal wave of governance, of transparency, of compliance. Not only has the bleeding stopped, but the mentality of the bank management, the boards, has changed significantly. Now, what does that mean is that if there is transparency, if there's better compliance, better governance, then banks which have invested in these areas over the last few years are going to do much better than they had before. Because we have already seen in our bank, for example, a significant, what we would call flight to quality or flight to safety. And this is not just a retail depositor coming to BRAC Bank, but lots of small businesses and large businesses recognizing that if they are going to grow in the future, then they need a sustainable banking partner. They are looking for governance. They are looking for transparency. So that is happening. And these 10, 15 banks that I referred to are really growing very strongly. You will see their results end of this year will be quite extraordinary.